Hi everybody, it's me Emily. Today I'm doing a speed build. I know it's been a hot minute since I just did a regular build on my island, so this should be super fun. I wanted to create a hidden forest waterfall. I didn't have much of a plan, but I just knew I wanted to build something that feels calm and secretive, like a little magical spot you might find whilst exploring, so let's get on with the video. Here is the area I'm going to be working in today. I've got the 3 villager houses in the back, and to be honest I was just being lazy and didn't feel like moving these, so we're gonna have to work around them. If I had to pick one design thing that would be my thing in Animal Crossing, I would 100% choose waterfalls. I mean, I literally named my channel after them and I love working with a waterscaping tool, so this is like my ideal build. I'm starting out by removing the pathing I already had going on just to free up the space a little, and now moving on to the building part. I'm laying out a row of trees in the foreground of the build to give some cover to the waterfall. This island is a fairy core and forest core theme, so the whole idea of this build is to merge the two together. I wanted it to look like a forest from the outside, and then as you walk further into the build you notice these magical fairy style waterfalls. I'm starting to lay out a rough cliff shape, and I knew I wanted all the corners to be rounded, which means no side can be less than 3 tiles wide, because otherwise when you round out both edges of a 2 tile wide cliff it will just completely fall down. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just a little tip if you want to build something similar on your own island. And here we go, the first cliff is now built in, so I'm climbing on up and starting to dig for water. Because this cliff is so close to the river edge, I decided I wanted to connect them. It felt weird to have a waterfall that close to the river but not touching. And this ended up being quite a bit of trial and error because I really wanted a natural look, no super hard edges or awkward angles, but I eventually decided to carry the water fully across the first cliff. That way both of my waterfall sections are connected by the same water source, which I think is really cute. The 3 villagers living in this area were originally meant to be the 3 little pigs story, and you can see on the left I have my house made of straw, in the middle is the twigs or bugs house, and then when the final person moves in, that will be my house of bricks. And I was going to do a specific build for that, which if you've been watching me for a while you may have heard me mention before, but I have been procrastinating that idea so much because I'm just not inspired by it. I think this is so much better, it's way more aligned with the style of builds I love making, at least at the moment, very whimsical, not too decorated with items. Most of the decorations will be flowers and plants. Talking of plants, I've just grabbed a whole bunch of flowers and some smaller trees. I don't have a super strict colour scheme for this build, but I did end up using white flowers only. They just go with everything, plus the white cosmos is probably my favourite flower in the whole game. And as I'm starting to add more trees to the foreground, you're going to notice something weird. For a hidden waterfall, I actually didn't hide it all that much. Yeah, that's right, I just did too good of a job on the waterfalls and I loved them so much it was making me sad to completely hide them, even though I know that's the whole original purpose of the build. So I kind of adjusted my plans, and this is more of a semi-secluded waterfall area rather than a totally hidden build. In terms of decorations, I'm keeping things quite simple. There's not loads of space on top of these cliffs anyway, but something that I like to add is a little custom design under my furniture. This helps a lot with adding depth and kind of stops the build from looking too flat. If you are enjoying this kind of build, don't forget to check out my 5 waterfall ideas video after this one. It's full of other designs that would go perfectly with this area if you're lucky enough to have more space on your island than I do. I also have a full playlist with all of my speed builds from this island, so if you want to check out more then please feel free. It got a bit tricky with decorating at some points because let's say I only have 1 tile of space on the cliff, so I want to place something there. You need to add another section of cliff to stand on, so there were a couple of times where you'll see me expand the cliff only to knock it back down once I've placed my decoration. I love a gyroid. Because they move, I think they make builds look so alive and fun. It's particularly perfect for fairy core themes like this because they definitely give an enchanted vibe. And the waterfalls themselves are finally finished at this point, so I'm starting to work more seriously on a lower level. This is meant to still be foresty, however I didn't want to just whack a bunch of trees down and call it a day. It was important to me to add little sections of decoration so that as you walk through there'll be moments of interest. Design codes are a must, and the game comes with a Clover code that I still use, so even if you don't have Nintendo Online you can use that one or draw some simple sparkles. I'm pretty happy with the layout of my trees, but I did want to add some pathing to connect this area in with the rest of my island. To the right, I've got the bridge that leads to Nook's Cranny, and below this section is my resident services, so the path needed to come down and to the right. I chose circles because they're simple and easy to work with, but still have a kind of magical feel that suits the build, rather than just creating a straight line. By the way, I have a cold whilst I'm recording this, and I thought you couldn't tell, but as I've been listening back to some of this audio, I feel like I can hear it in my voice, so hopefully you didn't notice that. The first small design section I'm making is going to be a reading nook under the shade of a tree. I moved into a new flat after finishing my uni, and we live right next to a forest, so I've been on a lot of walks around there recently, and I think it's starting to inspire my builds. I guess I'm trying to enjoy this time before winter comes and it gets way too cold to go out, but to be fair, at least here in England it is already so super cold outside. And I also work outside, and oh my goodness, I've been wearing so many layers, it is freezing at the moment. The teddy bears are one of the cutest items in game, I adore them. And then for my second design section, get yourselves ready, hold your breaths, okay? Absolute incredible creativity coming up. It is another book nook. Look, okay, I was struggling for what I could put amongst these trees that wasn't going to feel really out of place, and I also wanted items that were pretty neutral in colour, so my options were a bit limited. Honestly, I don't mind having two similar bookish reading sections. They're still cute, and these are really just to fill the space amongst the trees so it's not empty, but they're not meant to be the highlight or main focus of the build anyway. The swinging bench in the back is super cute though, and I think it would make a really nice photo spot. I'm filling in some of the extra space with glowing moss, continuing to add to that mystical fairy feel. Overall, I am really happy with this area. Like I say, it's been quite a while since I just focused on one build. Recently I've been super into making those 5 idea videos and let's plays, but for a long time all I ever posted on my channel was speed builds like this, so it's nice to come back to it. I also want to be finished with this island so badly, so I need to start doing projects like this to finally fill up some of the random empty spots I have. The last thing I'm doing is adding these circular designs around my pathing to make it more unique and interesting. And with that, let's go for a final walkthrough of the area. Here we go. I'm going to try to show you all the different ways you could approach this build. So if you follow the path, it will take you back to my 3 villager houses. And you can see the waterfalls from here, but this is how you would get to visit the villager houses. And then if you come down in front, this is where you can really see the waterfalls, and they are still nicely hidden, I would say. They're like semi-hidden, but you can still see them. You can take some cute pictures here, but you can also enjoy the forest. And there we go. I love this build. It feels very calm and really fits into the rest of the island. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving me a like and let me know in the comments if you enjoy waterscaping. Subscribe to see more, and I will see you all next time. Bye!